frozen.
Oh, that's the best part about it. That's part, it's frozen.
Yeah.
Frozen. I knew your brother. Yeah, we were close to him. So he said, yeah, he was telling me, I knew that.
Scared of what's gonna be
I
like.
mean, thing is, I'm saying that, you know, nobody's gonna steal, because nobody knows that.
It's pretty.
Well, I mean,
Easy to
be a joke. I mean, it's almost when you get around.
Take care of both. Or all of us.
Well,
And then,
well, that's why I was 26 years in the Army. And that's a doctor.
do the same work. We'll be true still.
And I'll send it to other people. That's what I'm
I
trying
know
to
you
do.
did it. Oh, it's.
Well, I was gonna sit there.
Oh, you said.
We'll scoot on over.
Oh, I usually sit there. Yeah, I sit, I think Greg Cyphers is coming, so we'll sit together. You sit
Okay.
first.
Okay.
You do,
How soon?
then we'll,
Who's praying tonight, Randy?
Mark Stouter he was scheduled, but he had to cancel, so me and Greg Cyphers want to pray. Greg's coming.
Okay.
That's good.
Well, Mark had to cancel kind of late,
That's
so
good.
I'm trying to rotate everybody, so.
If you ever have someone cancel, let me know, I might be trying to somebody.
The inspector, he won't show back. Good to know you. Good.
Just a little couple. It is.
Yeah. We're all good now.
Hello. Big egg eater.
Every chance I get. Okay.
I don't know if we can still do it or not, we can sure try. I've got it right here. I'm gonna-
Feel, oh.
Don't let me forget it.
When I meet him for breakfast.
Don't let me forget it.
He probably is kind of like down through that track.
Kevin,
heard from you a lot.
did you want to?
Usually there's something pops up. Heard from Rick.
I've been high.
Oh, yeah.
As I move stuff to Brittany and Abby, takes things off.
It is nice, right?
Okay. I just got to keep you away.
Well, you did.
Brittany, are you changing the location of that?
I did today so that it could catch the sound better. I hope it's not for differences.
Did you plug it in?
I charged it fully today.
Okay. You did not. Here. Let me do this, that way I can
Put your holes in it. Since I
get Miracle to add it to that sheet. Okay.
Oh, we did. You just make sure everybody's in it. So when I said I didn't.
They could be out there today. It's easier than normal. Oh, this is a job. Somebody's talking about you. Or somebody coming to you. Somebody's saying that. Okay, well. Okay. I was gonna say, just, gonna say somebody talking about. Well, that's true. Get right, Linda. Are you sure? Are you sure it's not you? Arden, what is that commercial?
That's the way the pros do it, isn't it?
I know, yes, they do. And you see how they get caught up.
When they are gathering it down.
Just say.
I don't think so. Did you just want notified that? Or Mr. Mister? I don't know.
Message. Yeah, you did.
We will now be in order. Can we please have a roll call of council? Let's start with the prayer and the pledge of allegiance. We all rise. Pastor Carter, please lead us in prayer.
Yes. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for your mercy and your grace, Lord, that you extend to us every day. Lord, we ask that you be in our presence tonight as we go through this meeting. Bless these council members, bless the mayor, Lord, and everybody that's a part of this town as we move forward. We thank you, Lord, for everything you do. Thank you for salvation. Would you comfort them that's lost loved ones? Would you just comfort the Johnson family this evening, good Lord, and all of them that's lost loved ones. Be with them that's sick. And Lord, thank you once again for everything you do for us. Bless our town. In Jesus' precious, wonderful name. Amen.
Amen. Let's face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Will the clerk please give us a roll call of council?
Cawthorn,
Here.
Hall,
Here.
Kennedy,
Here.
Mullins,
Here.
Howard.
Here.
Thank you. Well, we will now look at the consent calendar. Is there anything that would like to be discussed over the approval of the agenda, approval of minutes, list of check paid, or bank balance report?
I would like to add the town hall building. Let's make that 8A.
So under grant update.
Just for lack of a place to put it, just under 8A, yeah. Just make it 8A. Really doesn't have anything to do
that include the concerns with picking in the pound?
No.
Okay, so let's do 8B, that's okay, picking in the pound.
And I would make a motion to approve the consent calendar with the additions.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Can we have a roll call of that, please?
Hawthorne,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
And the consent calendar is approved. Now we will have a time for audience comment. If anyone from the audience would like to give up and address the council and the mayor, now is your time. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and whether you live in or out of the town.
Okay. That sounds good. They're going 3 minutes.
Well, there's another one at the
I mean,
end.
I've lived here a long time, and I know a lot of things, a lot of people up here on council that you don't know anything about. But
Can you state your name, whether you live in or out
it's
of the town?
Thomas G. Whitaker. I live on Curtis Hill Road, and I bought that property about 56 years ago, and I was told it was in the corporate limits, but then when I asked for some water up there, I was not granted that because they said, I'm outside the corporate limits. Well, then I checked with the man I bought the property from, and he said I was outside the corporate limits. Because he said the only thing that's in the corporate limits is that right there where Linda Hubbard lives. It goes from there across the old Common Mullins property. And that puts me outside the corporate limits. Actually, it puts about everybody on Curtis Hill Road outside the corporate limits. So I guess that'd be a surprise to you. But then when I questioned it, in and out, when you need money, I'm in, when you don't, when I need something, you're out, so forth, back and forth. But I was shown a map, which is a completely bogus map. When that happened, it was in about the turn of the century there was a man hired by the town because the town didn't have any money. And they wanted him to try to find people that could be in the town. So then he changed it a little bit. Instead of finding people, he created people. And instead of going across the mountain this way, he went up the mountain about 1,000 feet, and then he went across. Okay, that put me in the corporate limits. Bogus map. He followed it. And they needed some more people besides just me. So he made another map. And that map, instead of going up and across the Commonwealth, it went all the way over to the Bow Camp area. And that's the map you showed me, which is even more bogus. Now, see, on the agenda today, that's why I'm here, you're going to expand. Well, why don't you just expand all the way to the Dixon County line, all the way to Kentucky, all the way to Wise? That way you have enough money to give everybody a raise. I mean, it's ridiculous to me that there's no sense in all of this. I'm not in the corporate limits. Don't try to make me, but that's what you're going to do tonight. You're going to try to expand, but you're beating this horse to death. This town has been broke since the Jacksons took all the money it had and they left. That's the truth. I mean, you didn't go to the bank to get a loan. You went to the hardware. So I mean, everything. We was going to get a Hardee's here. They made sure it didn't come here to town, and that's when we came up with rowboats, Robinson Bond. So there you go. That's how rowboats got its name, and that's where it was. So everything and 26 years ago, there was some work done at my mother's house. She's dead now, but they ran out of money. They couldn't finish it off, so we had to put up the money to do whatever needed to be done on the water. Because it was revamping. They ran out of money, and I said, "Well, I'd like to see an audit on this." I'm still waiting for that audit. I mean, this place, it's nepotistically run from get-go for decades. And everybody here, I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but the people of the pound area need some relief. We need to stop this stuff that we've got to have this town here. We don't need a town here. We need a community. And then all the property that the town has, let them sell it to people that want to have a business here with no tax. And work something out with the county that the first year they pay 50% of the tax. That will give them a head start and let them rebuild our town from the ground up. And about 6 or 8 years from now, I probably won't be around, but about 6 or 8 years from now, come back with Pound, and it'll be bigger, better, and a whole, I mean, it'll be right. But there's just so much waste here. When I came here the other day, the police car was out here running.
Your,
Nobody was in it.
your time's expired. We will have more time
We'll
designated.
be dealing with that issue under number 15 on our agenda,
Okay.
and then there's another public comment at the
I
end.
hope I last that long.
Okay.
Thank you for your comment. Would anyone else like to get up and have a public comment?
Yes, I do. I'm really not prepared because I wasn't here at the last meeting. I'm Linda Hubbard. I am in the corporate limits on Indian Creek. I wasn't here last time, and shame on me. I understand that the council shut down the idea of accepting the grant for the campsite up on the C&O Railroad Trail. Is that correct? It was not voted, it was not passed?
What we did is, there's some disputes with the landowners over there, and until they can work that out, we've decided not to develop the campsite at present.
All right, that's one way of putting it. Did you send the money back for the grant?
It hasn't been sent back yet.
Okay, so there's hope.
We have spoke with VOF, but the money has not been sent back as of yet.
All right, I misunderstand a lot of things, and I don't come to a lot of meetings because, I just don't. But I should have been here last week, shame on me, last month. I did call and leave a message with you,
Yes, you did.
and we failed to make contact. I'm concerned about that. I'm concerned about calling her the landowner of that piece of land, because, you know, I look at reality and I see in reality what it says. She didn't have a deed to it. It belongs to someone else. And it bothers me that anybody in the town could just stand up and say, this is mine, get off of it. And so you decide to go with that information. That is not correct information. That is very incorrect information. And we have a citizen who doesn't live here, but who spent a lot of her life trying to help him. She taught here most of her life. Who's worked so hard to try to get that trail. I'm sure you all walked it. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Horse walking, then going up there to camp, and all that's to be seen. You go on and you get to see the historic John Wright. Isn't that right? I always want to put Devil in there. So anyway, Devil John Wright Cemetery. Debbie Hale has worked extremely hard with no thanks from most of the town. She has no agenda, no hidden agenda. She just wants to see good things happen to Pam. And so I'm concerned about that too. The council should be so grateful to her and actually trying to get her input about how you can help her, not kick her away. So there's that. But in my opinion, to turn back grant money that can benefit people who want to recreate on Pine Mountain. Pine Mountain is kind of the king of what we've got to show around here. That along with, not much anymore, but the Pound Lake, because all of those recreation areas are gone. But Pine Mountain is a treasure, full of caves, full of history, full of Civil War, settlers, and it's a borderline mountain between Kentucky and Virginia. There's so much of that get excited about, and that Pound should be hollering about and showcasing, but that's another thing. So I just wanted to tell you how concerned I was about that and your interpretation that landowner had every right to keep any public off of it, because that's not true. You know that's not true. You don't impinge upon someone who just decides to say, this is mine. You know, many people could use that. But whatever it benefits the people of Pound, that's what I've always wanted to help with. That, my family has been here for 5 generations in the meat side. And it means a lot to us. So I just need to speak my piece, let you all know how I feel about it. With the Historical Society, I too have worked very hard. So,
I want to thank you for your comment. Your time has expired.
thank you, John.
Anyone else like to get up and give a comment? If there is no one else, we will move on. The next item on the agenda, and that is the reports. Police Department like to give a report.
How you guys doing this evening?
And girls.
Ladies, how about that? So, the visits to the, slot shop is what I'm gonna call them. There's only one that I haven't had an opportunity to visit. It's the, one in the middle of town, not Tumblers. Next one. Everything's in compliance. I would have communicated with that guy through email, and he's told me he's got 2 machines that are not, but they're unplugged. I haven't had an opportunity to go by and verify that, but I will as soon as I have an opportunity. As far as the visits, otherwise are proceeding, no violations are there.
You were talking about the skill games.
Yes, but then I moved on to the other shops, I
Gotcha.
never really, whatever the enduring term for those are, those visits are continuing.
I just wanted to
okay?
confirm.
Appreciate the gentleman's comment about the police car. I don't know anything about that. Don't know how long it was running. I can assure you we'll look into it. I don't have a problem with police officers leaving it running if they're only in the building for a 5 or 10 minute period. But if it was out there beyond that, then that's a problem.
It was over an hour.
Okay, that'll be addressed.
And he told me that's the way other police departments do it. Well, they do. If they got 20 plus cars.
Sure. Well, thank you for bringing that to our attention. I just wanted to address that with you. I appreciate it. So now the next thing. This was not something I had planned on. Because when we done our budget, we tried to, we know our fleet is aging for our cars. Over the course of the last month, it's been a very bad month for our police cars. We spent, before the new budget cycle came in, we spent about $1,600 on the Explorer, which is the highest mileage vehicle we have. It's a 2017 and it's got 73,000 miles on it. But quite frankly, it's the best vehicle we have. We got a 2018 Ford truck, in my opinion, should have never been purchased for police work. It's just not practical. That truck's got 42 or 43,000 miles on it. We had to have some wheel bearings replaced. We got the wheel bearings replaced and we started on a trek to get the speedometer calibrated. And I got out on Route 23 and the rear end locked up on it. So we're purchasing, there's gonna be a new rear end installed in that vehicle. As far as how it works out with the cost associated with the town, I'm not sure at this point.
So that's not a warranty.
But it's a 2018 truck, so
Years.
the years, but it was, something happened I really can't get into up here. I'd be happy to have a sidebar, but just don't, the shop has agreed to maybe assist us in the repair, if that helps you understand what's going on with that. Okay. Was it due to someone outside the department or inside the department that the rear end locked up? That had the rear end problem? We had some repairs, some recent repairs done on it, and there may have been some faulty repair work. Oh. That truck has the twin turbo engine on it. The Explorer has a twin turbo engine on it. I've talked to multiple mechanics who advise against purchasing those for police use. And what I've been told is typically at 100,000 miles is when you're gonna have problems with your turbos. We'll approach that with the Explorer, which like I said is the best car we got, within the next year. The Dodge Charger, it's the newest one we have, it's a 2020 model. Check engine light came on it today. I had to take them down to the Dodge dealership in Big Stone Gap. They run a diagnostic on it and indicated that it could just be a simple transmission service that it needs. But based upon their experience, when that starts happening to these units, the next thing that happens is the transmission goes out. I had asked for an estimate before I came in here to present to you this evening. Unfortunately, I didn't get it before I got here. Based on the research I've done, of course, Dodge doesn't make those vehicles any longer. If it winds up being a transmission issue, the cost to repair it's gonna be probably roughly between $7,000 and $8,000. And that's no warranty on that. Now, we are getting ready to receive approximately $45,000 per car in equipment. We have to have that money spent by the end of September, I believe.
That's grant money,
Correct.
not money.
It's grant money. That's gonna include the digi-ticket, it's gonna include the, in-car camera system. And then the sheriff's office got a grant for, state radios to go with the car. That's a $30,000 piece of equipment. If we install all that stuff into a failing unit, of course, you've got to buy, mounting equipment and such, and it's not the same for, it's all different for depending on, that's an unfortunate thing we got going on here, our fleet's not consistent. So every time we go to buy something, we have to buy one for an F-150, one for a Dodge Charger, and one for a Ford Explorer. So, having said that, here's what I'm gonna propose to the council, and ask you for your blessing. Let's pick this up on my way in here. And like I said, this is a thought and process, because I've not had a lot of time to put all this together. If you look at your third line item on that, you'll see a balance of $73,946.35. That's more than enough to purchase one new unit and have it fully equipped, fully functioning through the state bid, which is how we would do it. I would propose on the other two for the council to consider. I know that last year when I had the F-150 at the Ford dealership, the gentleman who orchestrated that deal with the town expressed an interest in that truck. I don't know that that would still be there. The truck's pretty banged up. Now it is, you can use it, it's just not functional for police work. You can't turn it around quickly. It's just, I'm assuming probably the reason that they got that is back when that truck was new. That's when the meth labs, the portable meth labs were a big thing. We actually done this in the other jurisdiction I worked in. The reason we got a truck was so that we could transport those labs up and down the highway safely to the state lab. Because we didn't want them confined in a car. We didn't want those things, we didn't want exposure to those things. I'm guessing that's why they done that, I don't know. There was an option to get that truck in a 5.0 engine, which is what we did in the other jurisdiction. But at any rate, that's totally up to you all, I'm just letting you know. At the best case scenario, you're gonna have a F-150 truck that's got 42,000 miles on it, that's gonna have a, it's not gonna be a factory rear end in it. What's the term I'm looking for? It's gonna be a refurbished.
Rebuild exchange.
Which you never know. I've been told that the warranty could be up to 3 years on it, if we're lucky. I think the truck still has, obviously, the longer you keep it, the more it's gonna depreciate. But right now, if we were gonna try to sell it, we might get more out of it than if we waited a certain amount of time. The Charger, again, from the people I spoke with, the Ford people and the Dodge people tell me, you know, that just, they're just not designed for what we use them for. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. They just had all kinds of issues, all kinds of engine and transmission issues. City of Bristol, the only thing we deal with is Ford. We deal with Ford Explorer, and we don't buy the turbo engines. We get the straight sixes, which serves a whole lot better. You know, the maintenance costs on them are a whole lot lower over time. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you at one time. I would hate to outfit these things with this new equipment and then be put in a position where we've got to go try to jerk everything out and, you know, make it functional. So my proposal to you would be to give me your blessing to make arrangements to get one new Ford Explorer based on the money we have here in this account, and then potentially work to either trade or do something with those other 2 units. I can certainly understand if there's a hesitancy to do that. You gotta weigh your options, but I think,
What's the price tag?
you know, we weren't able to get in the EVA system. That's something that, like I said, this just all happened literally today.
Evil Ava.
EVA. I'm thinking before you put, don't hold me to this, but I'm thinking before you put the light bars and everything, which they can do in Richmond, and have, you know, we don't have to deal with that. But I'm thinking around 44, and then I know back in, I think once they upfitted it, of course now the radio, we're not gonna have to worry about that because, like I said, we've got the county got the grant. And it's just any day now that they're gonna notify us on, you know, where to do the install on those. But if my memory serves me correctly, the last time I upfitted one of these units, it was about $8,000. So 51, 52,000, possibly, like I said, and that's been a while, so.
So right now, your only wish list is one vehicle?
Well, I mean, no, if we could do it,
Okay.
I'm
that's-
trying to be,
that's
I'm
what-
trying to be practical and say, okay, we've got what we need to, it shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I mean, if you wanna.
Beyond being practical, what's your wish
3.
list?
If we could get 3 brand new, Explorers and have everything just installed in those at one time, that would eliminate any future issues. You'd have a consistent fleet. And then you can decide what you want to do. If you got those, if you did do that, I would suggest keeping one spare unit, and it would probably be the Explorer, because we just got it back, we had to spend more money on it today. I think I failed to tell you all that. We had to spend $1,100 on it today to have coil packs and spark plugs put in. So fortunately, it was that. We thought it was the turbo, so we bought a little bit more time, hopefully.
So has Cindy looked to see if there's any grants with regard to vehicles?
You found something, right, Cindy?
I looked at the DMV grants, and I've also looked at the CJS. There should be something opening up, but it's gonna be a few months, and we have missed the parameters for the timeline for, DMV. But I'm still looking for anything that we could possibly utilize for small departments, even if it's just one or whatever we can do. But I am actively looking.
Would you maybe holler at me tomorrow afternoon, because there may be another source?
Okay.
Now, Ford does do in addition to purchasing it through the state bid, Ford does something for smaller agencies where they'll run line of credit. If that was something that the town would be interested in doing. Like I said, we can make the truck, we can make that truck work for what we're doing. But it would be very sad to put all this equipment in there and wind up, at least if you've got new units, if something happens, a major repair, you'll be covered under warranty, and you don't have that headache to worry with. So it's just something.
That is one thing what Council Member Kennedy was mentioning, and that is, I remember in the past, there was some sort of a grant, kind of a loan grant type agreement, where they gave us $25,000, and the rest of it was like a low interest loan. I don't remember what that was. Maybe Cindy can look into
I
that.
think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was USDA.
Yep.
Could have been.
And I'm not really familiar with that process.
Is that what you were thinking of?
Not as far as something to check into. There are multiple other options that I
Mhm.
think we might be able to find some funding at. But the USDA is certainly something we can look into as well.
Good. Anything to bring down price?
Sure.
And I will say that I didn't look at anything that was placing us with any sort of debt, like a loan or anything. I have only exclusively looked at full grants, so we can pursue that also.
Trust me when I tell you, this is not what I wanted to come up here and tell you guys, because when we were going through the budget process, I did have some conversations and said, okay, we're gonna have to put some more money in the budget because the fleet is aging. But I didn't anticipate all this to happen in less than a month. Okay.
What is $5.99 law enforcement money usually spent for? And where does it come from?
It comes from the state. I mean, that's, they give us, it's certain monies that's allocated to each locality, and we receive it quarterly. And, it's, I mean, it's used to pretty much do what we're doing here now, or whatever you need, you know.
And that's your greatest need, is what you're saying?
Well, right now it is, and that's gonna be the,
I mean, we've got grants for some of the stuff, the equipment and stuff, so I get it.
But you said it had to be spent by
Well,
September deadline?
the grant money that we just received has to be spent by the end of September. Now, it's a possibility where this stuff's gonna be installed. It may be able to be purchased, and some of it may be able to sit around for a little bit.
Right,
You see what I mean?
yeah.
But,
As long as the
part of
money's
the,
spent.
part of the issue with that is it's, digital stuff, and we'll have to have the companies on site to install certain equipment to make sure it integrates in the cars. So I'm not sure exactly how all that works, if we have to have that money spent before the 30th, or else we lose it. So that's why I'm just throwing that out there. That may be something I think we could work around somehow, because, you know, quite honestly, if we ordered police cars today, you all right?
She's right.
There's a possibility we wouldn't get them before then anyway, depending on how busy they are.
So some of what's needed to upfit the cars has to be vehicle specific. Is that what you
Yes,
referred to?
yes.
Okay.
So this can wait till the August meeting, is what you're saying?
Whatever you guys decide.
So we were given priority over other departments because at the time, we were of the mindset that we would be able to outfit those cars quickly and do what we need to do. We were given priority funding and received a considerable amount more than a lot of departments because there was a stipulation that the money be spent July, somewhere around there, so that's something that we need to consider. They did give us priority on that.
And if you, if you guys wanted to, I don't know how much line of credit you want. I mean, that's totally out of my wheelhouse. So I can't speak to that. I can just see what's on here in my mind. If you've got that on hand, you just, you know,
Are we adamant about a Ford?
well, again, based on the people that I've talked to and the fleet management people, by far, that's what they recommend. I mean, no, to me, it doesn't matter to them. Your only other options, you can do Dodge again, which, you know, look at what we're in here. They've got a Durango, I think, that they utilize for police stuff. Ford has the Explorer. I'm not sure if Ford's still doing, Taurus. I don't even know if they still make it or not, to be honest with you. I think that may be an option, but I don't know. Chevrolet does an Impala and, a Tahoe. Don't know that much about the Tahoes. Don't know anything about the new Impalas, but I can tell you that the old Impalas, it's just, you know, if they're anything like they were 10 years ago, I wouldn't spend my money on it. But no, it doesn't have to be a Ford. Whatever you get, and you know, the other thing to consider too is what dealership's close to us for servicing. The Ford dealer's the closest one. If we get a Chevrolet, we gotta run it all the way to Coburn, I guess.
Chevrolet
No,
dealership.
Clintwood, okay, sorry, Clintwood.
Johnson.
So that would be the closest for servicing, would be Clintwood, Ford, and then if you get a Dodge, is there something in Clintwood, I don't wanna do that again. Okay, so Big Stone Gap is your closest one. That's just, you know, It doesn't matter to me what we drive, but I like to see you get something that has some longevity to it. And I can tell you the biggest thing that I've seen with these Fords is if you get someone that's being rough with them in the first 5,000 miles, you can pretty much guarantee that it's gonna be going back to the dealership for a new transmission. So I always tell the guys, look, baby it for 5 to 10,000 miles. Don't want you to abuse it afterwards, but the first 5 to 10,000 is very important to break in, get this thing, going. So whatever you guys need, and I'm sorry I didn't have some numbers for you from Eva. We did try to get on there today. It was late. I didn't get this information about the charger until later today. So I know that's a lot. You all just direct me on what you want to do, if you want to do anything.
Is everybody familiar with EVA?
Don't know what that stands for.
EVA is a state procurement website, where we can find things usually a little bit cheaper. So, but they do refer to it as Evil EVA because it's a beast to try and navigate sometimes.
We get the same price for a new car or new equipment that the state police gets if we, or any other, that's the state contract on these cars. I didn't even know Ford offered an alternative to that until today, but you're not gonna get any better price than you do in that system right there.
I would say, in my opinion, if you can go and figure out what the best deal you can get, grants and loans is, bring us a package next month, we can see if we can operate with that.
As far as the grant goes, that's just hit or miss, with deadlines and things, but we definitely, we'll look at every option that we can. This grant that we just applied for, we could have actually requested a vehicle instead of the equipment. But, we didn't see the need at the time, and, we just wasn't expecting this, so that's something we'll be able to look at more for in the future, I guess. So we'll get you what you need, and hopefully we can figure it out.
And Chief,
Yeah.
just one question for you. This is not something that you're asking or will be asking the council to amend the budget
No.
for. This is money that's already been.
Not unless the council, unless that's a route that they choose to take, no.
So this is money that's already budgeted for fiscal year.
Well, it's not, it's in that account is all I can tell you. Now, beyond that, I'm gonna have to leave that to you all, because I don't. We didn't budget, $52,000 for a new car.
But you've got money obviously in the budget that you can use it. It's just a matter of
Correct.
if that depletes, then
As
obviously.
I understand it, that's exactly right.
Right.
599 fund has typically been left largely at the discretion of the police department, that particular fund. That comes from what? That's just tickets, or that's just free money, from the state?
It's free money.
So,
Well, it's some kind of money, but I don't know how exactly tell you it gets in the account, but it gets there.
well, just bring us something next month
Okay.
and, see what you can do.
All right.
Best deal.
We'll do it. Thank you all, I appreciate it. Sorry it's long-winded.
Is there someone from the fire department who'd like to give a report? If there is no one, we will go to the town manager. Can the town manager please give a report?
Yes, so we provided a letter of intent for Linowesco for their application for their grant, for their hazard mitigation program. This is a plan that's gonna be completed and is intended to encompass the Linowesco footprint. The idea is that all of the towns, and cities within the county or within the Linowesco footprint will use that plan upon completion. So we did submit a letter of intent for that. I also did receive that local programs workshop scholarship that we talked about last month, so I'll be attending that in September, and hopefully that'll give us a leg up on some other VDOT grants that could open up for us. The county did not have a regular July meeting. I understand that they're having a special call meeting later in the month, but they did not have a regularly scheduled meeting. So they moved our presentation on the MOU till August. Our computers did arrive and were installed, and that has made life so much easier as far as getting anything done. Our servers also arrived, and I know that I sent you all an email about a straw poll, and after talking with Kevin, we decided that a straw poll is really not the best way to go. But I did review the budget, and we did have that in the admin budget to be able to spend that so that we could have that. So I did spend that on the server racks and UPS. And that is, the UPS is a battery backup system that will allow the system a few minutes to be able to shut down so that we don't lose what we're doing, and so that we can close out a program so that information is not lost or anything like that. And these racks will house both servers for the admin office and for the police department.
Any questions?
So still continuing to look for money for sidewalks and,
Yes, I was actually talking with BDOT today. Kirk and I talked, and I was looking for other grants and things. And I'm hoping that this programs workshop will give us a bit of a leg up.
it looks like the joint meeting, public meeting with the board of supervisors might be in September, because they'll have to approve it at their August meeting, is that what you're saying? Is that the MOU or?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
MOU. Yep.
Yeah, we still have an MOU in place for about another year and a half, but they want to extend that MOU. What Mike Hatfield said was he had a property he had been working on for 5 years for a deal and still didn't have it worked out. So if they're willing to give us 10 years to get it under contract, that would make me happy, because that's better than what they've ever offered before. And the offer is, if we get it under contract, they give us the property. Now, their intention is to give the property to whoever they were to put it under contract with, and I don't have a problem doing the same thing, and that was kind of what we discussed. If it's bringing jobs and something that develops economically here, then we do what we gotta do, and it's a win-win if a company comes in here providing the community with jobs or some other benefit, and they get the property in return. There would, I'm sure, have to be some sort of agreement. I certainly don't wanna find us in a position like the Food City and Clintwood, and we've got this property that we're giving away and they decide they're gonna sell it. I don't wanna find us in a position like that, but
I was talking about the boundary adjustment. Have you heard anything? I guess the board didn't meet this month, so we'll have to request the joint hearing in August.
Which when we were gonna address that in the
Yeah.
agenda, was gonna just affiliate in that we do not need to proceed with a joint hearing. That's something that you can do to save costs for both localities, but I don't think the county necessarily expressed any interest in that. We can go ahead with our, yeah, we can go ahead with our hearing at any point, as long as we have 2 weeks of advertisement to proceed.
We'll discuss that then under boundary adjustments.
Thank you for that report. Does the EDA have a report?
Yes, we have been working on the house up there. We have got a water heater, we have gotten some supplies so we can start cleaning on it. We do have one person that's interested in it and someone that's interested in it, so maybe we can get someone in all 3 rooms. We just have to get, the money's going out faster and we're not getting anything in. We've actually got $681 right now. We did have the termite and control service have already come and done all their stuff. It's good for a year. We got that paid for. Well, we owe a little bit on it. They were generous enough to let us pay half of it and then finish pay it in 3 months, which is something they said they didn't do. But I just sent them out a check yesterday for $200. So it comes down to $681 in our checking account right now. And I wrote a check the other day for supplies, just cleaning supplies for almost 100, it was $159.85, I think. Just to clean, all kinds of stuff you need to clean and sanitize it, so. Anyway, we're trying. You know, there's very few of us that work in it. And we need to get a couple more bedroom suites. Because we're gonna try to get, we've got one, so we're gonna try to get a couple more bedroom suites to see if we can get those other bedrooms.
So if anybody has bedroom suites they wanna donate, you're accepting?
Yes, I'll accept, yes, because we do have several, we got one bedroom suite, and then we got some things that we can put in there with the bedroom suits, so anything, any help's welcome too. You guys wants to come and spray Lysol and spray this and clean the windows and
Where do
any kind of
people,
donations
where do people park if they stay there?
on the side of the street.
On the sidewalk?
On the sidewalk. And where I park them.
Unfortunately, there's not much there.
There's a way you can go down the end. You can
Well, I
go
remember
around the
that
car.
from years ago when, it was looked at before, they had an open house coming in from your driveway, behind that sign, down in there somehow, having a parking area behind the log cabin.
Gail Savage actually owns the property.
Yeah.
Adjacent to it. And we had talked with her at one point about the possibility of cutting some of those trees and making a driveway down
Yep.
in that area. And she said she wasn't even aware she owned the property, so, you know, I don't think that's out of the question.
You know her, Linda?
You said Gail Savage? Yes, I know her.
Okay. Think that's a possibility, or?
I can't speak for her.
Right, I don't expect you to. Just-
That would be a straighter shot.
Right down.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean, but it would be a long grade, lots of gravel, maybe some guardrail. Just depends on who put that road in.
Hmm.
We've got a construction company sitting here. Not true.
He can volunteer to work.
No, that'd be a whole nother thing there. They've got plenty of work right now.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that report. Does the planning commission have a report?
We did not get to meet, didn't have a quorum last month.
We're all busy people, ain't we, Randy?
Okay, well, we move on to old business. First thing is the audit update. Can we have an update on that, please?
I've been talking with David Cox. He has been tied up with other, I guess, accounts that he has going on. He's assured me that he's going on vacation next week, but assured me that after he gets back, he will be on the town's pre-audit. I've also sent him paperwork from some auditors, some quotes for him to look at to see if those are on the up and up, you know, and if they're a fair contract, so.
The people from Texas, are they still looking positive?
He said that so far what he had looked at looked positive, but he wanted to dive into it further before he gave me a definite answer.
So we haven't made any progress, but we're moving toward progress.
We're on everybody else's timeline. Unfortunately, we sit in a hurry up and wait on everybody else's position a lot.
And Brittany, could I just ask, is there any sort of contract right now with David Cox regarding the audit?
He has not sent me the contract for him yet.
Okay, just let me know, I guess, if you receive one.
And what are the consequences for not having these audits up to date?
One of our grants is dependent upon an audit.
Which one?
And one.
Yeah. So we have to have that done in order to complete the project for that grant.
Okay. Any more discussion on the audit update? We will move on to item number 8A, Town Hall Building.
It is a whole, you gotta get the grant update. Yeah.
So we did not make grant update 8A. Great, okay. Anyway, I put 8, grant update as 8C, but we can talk about 8C first. We'll just say grant update number 8, grant update. Does anybody have any updates about that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
So with regard to BRIC and EJCPS, I was in DC last week speaking with our legislators as well as multiple committees regarding those grants. App Voices does have a lawsuit about the EJCPS grant. And I've not seen the actual suit myself, but they administer that grant, they applied for that grant, and we benefit from it. So we talked with them about that. We talked with them about the BRIC grant, which was technical assistance. We also talked with them about the fact that we cannot get VDM completed because FEMA is holding up the plans. And the aide in Griffith's office said that he felt like he felt confident that they could set up a meeting with FEMA for us because our attempts to do so have been met with, they don't meet with the public. So anyway, we're waiting on something to come from that. So that covers BRIC, EJCPS, and VDM. Our monuments grant is moving forward. What they can do off-site, they are doing off-site. We have the DEQ grants for the demolition. One was for $125,000, which is a reimbursement. The other is $50,000, which we have already gotten. We have paid out $100,000 for what Elite Green has done so far on the demolition. We're gonna have them come back and give us an estimate on what it will take to complete that, along with taking the alleyway out for the Ratliff building. We also are gonna have to have a survey of the Ratliff building so that when it is deeded correctly to remove that alleyway portion. Trying to think which other grants we have.
So the $100,000, is that something that's to be reimbursed?
Not the 100. 50,000 of that would be reimbursed. And plus we have another 75,000 we can spend that DEQ will reimburse.
So the 100,000 should be reimbursed.
50 of it we've already received.
Okay.
So what we have a total from DEQ is 175. So that leaves us with 75,000, which would be reimbursed, along with 125,000 total is what we can be reimbursed.
So the $100,000 is all reimbursable.
50,000 we've already gotten, so 50,000 of it is reimbursable.
And the other 50?
We already got it.
Okay, so
They
it's,
gave us
so you
$50,000.
said 50,000 is gonna be reimbursed, and 50,000 has already been reimbursed.
50,000 was given to us before we even started.
Okay, and
So,
the other
yeah.
50,000 expected to be reimbursed.
It can be reimbursed, yes. We have
Okay.
not applied back for that because we just got, since we're there,
Still there.
this is where this belongs. All right. Take one down, pass it around. We've not seen that a lot. Yeah, that's one copy. What you're looking at is one copy. I apologize, I should have separated these beforehand.
That's what that saves us.
Yeah.
All right, so what you are getting is the copy of the asbestos study for the alleyway section. And no, we did not pay for this asbestos study. DEQ did that. Okay.
That's yours, I guess.
That is mine. Please leave. So there is indeed asbestos in that portion of the building. So it is possible that if we go over the $75,000 that we have left allotted, It is possible that there may be more money from DEQ. We're gonna go back and say, here's the asbestos study, and can you give us more money if we need it? But we're waiting on that estimate from Ely Green for the remaining portion of the demolition before we go back to DEQ. And if we don't need more money, there's no point in asking for more money. Any other grants we've got out there, Brittany, I'm missing?
I don't think so. Cause we already talked about Amler.
DEQ is VDOT. I think that's got everything right now that we have anything on. There are some other grants that we intend to apply for. The T-Mobile grant is a quarterly grant. We do still have the $40,000 from the county for the pickleball courts. And Lyndon has very graciously helped us to work on trying to get the high school property mowed, trying to get the tennis courts in a better position to try and get the pickleball courts in. And we're hoping that the T-Mobile grant might be something we can use for the disc golf to install a 18-hole course.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, good.
We actually have a young gentleman that Lyndon knew from Jenkins who's come over and looked at the situation, and although he would love to volunteer his time, he is volunteering his time in Jenkins and says he can do it, but he's gonna have to get a little bit of money out of it. The equipment was a whole lot more than what I thought it was gonna be when we started talking about it, but, you know, we have options there. We have not registered yet with Harvest Host. We are looking at the possibility of water and sewer, because some of these RVs will go other locations because they have the option to offload their sewage and, I guess, fill their water. So we're looking at what that may cost us to try and set that up so that it makes it more appealing for people to be there.
What, and remind me again, what is the Amler grant? Does that go toward?
Abandoned mine land economic revitalization.
And
That
that's
goes towards
the
the pocket park.
pocket parks,
That's a portion of what is needed for the pocket park.
and that's the one dependent on audits.
It is.
And that's the stabilization of the slide.
Nope, that's
Okay,
medium.
it's pocket park, okay.
Adjacent to
Yep. VDM is the road and the retaining wall.
Okay, so any more updates on grants?
We did submit the letters of intent to Amler for, to DOE for some other possible options. The airport project is one of those. That one is probably gonna be mega dollars, to try and get in a good roadway to make that into a viable housing option.
And that's right above where Greg Whitaker lives.
That's above Bowl Camp.
Yeah.
It's right up, that's where
Same
y'all
area.
go, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go play.
It's over the hill.
Where the airport used to be.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we can move on to item number 8A, Town Hall Building. Any discussion?
more handouts.
Yeah. We'll have comic books at the next one. We need highlighters. You're welcome. So we have been aware that there is a problem with Town Hall's stability for a little while.
Agree?
Lack of repairs.
Okay.
We did have some contractors come in and look at it. One of the contractors requested that we get a structural engineer. He did come and look at it at one point when he was here looking at the bank building, and indicated that he felt like we needed a more in-depth look at the building because it's more than just the floor joists needing sistered and, possible. He said he didn't think the girders needed to be replaced, but he says that the water is draining from Town Hall directly under the building, and we really need a full assessment to determine what needs to be done, and
Would that be gutter water?
I think some of it is gutter water. There was discussions with one of the contractors about putting in French drains, the possibility of a French drainage system to help with that problem. There's also the fact that you can't get under Town Hall to get in those things to sister the joists, without going through one of these vent locations. And we had talked with the contractor about the possibility of putting in a full-size opening to be able to do that, and he said it would be anything. It looks like it was just closed in at some point. So this is his estimate with regard to doing the evaluation. And I would make the motion that we approve and proceed with this. Finding a structural engineer has been like pulling teeth. And this guy's out of West Virginia, so he's been here.
Do we have all the equipment, it says, such as ladders and lifts? Do we have all that that's provided by town, the town is required?
Well, we have a ladder, might possibly need to rent a lift. And you can do that. Yeah, we could probably do that through
Southwest.
Southwest,
Okay, is there any more discussion or maybe a motion? There's a motion. Do we have a second?
yeah. A second.
Okay. Any more discussion?
So this would just be to find out what the problem is, like a diagnostic test.
He will list everything that needs to be done to correct the building issues. And he said then we could pick and choose how we wanted to prioritize that. I will tell you that the contractor told us to move stuff away from the walls. That when they went down there and looked at it and touched one of the joists, it started crumbling. So we know that that is a priority. Those joists are gonna have to be sistered, and they had even talked about putting in knee walls to help support down there. So we know that's a priority.
I guess in my mindset, if I am not certain that the people in the town want to keep pouring money into this building, if they may not in the future want to have the corporation here in the pound. And so I am not in favor of doing major repairs to this building to keep it up, if there's a possibility of one day giving it away, say to the county or something like that. And so I'm not gonna vote for having this study done, because I don't think we ought to go down that road at the present until we hear what the people have to say about whether or not they want to keep the incorporated town of Pound.
Any more discussion?
I just want to point out, this is something where I would probably like an opportunity to consult with council in executive session under the kind of legal council exemption from public meetings, just so we can talk about the legal situation, I guess, of this a little bit. And also, you said it was like pulling teeth finding engineers. I mean, did you all go through multiple people to kind of try to find?
Trying to find somebody in the area or close to the area that we could get here to.
Did you receive any other like quotes or
We have not.
okay. Just for the purposes of public procurement?
From the structural end, they are few and far between.
Right.
You said
Is that-
Quisenberry's didn't have one.
They did not, no. Quisenberry's is actually the ones that wanted the structural engineer evaluation.
So what you're saying is that we should go through a procurement process
Well,
in order to get someone to do this.
well, I wanted to ask, because I think, in towns under 3,500, you're exempt from most of the requirements under the Public Procurement Act. You don't have to do kind of it's a good rule of thumb and practice to try to be, follow similar procedures if you can. There's great resources like from the VML, which kind of tells you like, oh, if you're consulting this type of service, you should maybe get like this many quotes or this many, reach out to this many people. So I just wanted to mention that. I think it's up to the discretion of the town manager and the management of the town as to whether they're fulfilling those to the extent they, feel they need to. But sounds like you have, at least
We've
tried,
started,
tried to get multiple, rather than just saying, oh, this is someone, let's just grab them and have them do it.
well, I mean, when we started this, the whole purpose and him being here to begin with was with regard to the demolition of the bank building. And even beyond just engineers, we had him, we had an engineer from Virginia Tech, we had an architect from Virginia Tech, we had the engineer company that is, that's working on the slope.
Yeah,
So trying to find somebody that was actually a structural engineer
right.
was like pulling teeth.
Right.
It was crazy. It's crazy that you don't have those kind of specialties close by.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any more discussion?
Does the town own the entire building?
No. It's not a consideration.
No, we own this half,
Half.
yes.
Who owns the other half?
That's owned, but it was David Kilgore.
Yes.
So I think it was him and his siblings.
He passed on.
He passed, but now his son Vince
Okay.
is the one that I think kind of deals with things on the other end of the building at this point.
So any improvements to this building would,
What we do here on this side doesn't have anything to do with what's happening on the other side. However, if we let this side fall, it could affect their side.
And vice versa, if they let their side fall, it would affect this side. So I don't know about investing a lot of money in the building until we get something worked out with the other owner.
yeah, it's-
We don't have to work anything out with the other owner. It's up to them to maintain their portion.
So if their side falls off, then we just,
If it does damage to our building, I hope their insurance covers it. In turn, if we do damage to their building by being negligent, and I feel like that is, and you might have some input there, Kevin, then,
Well, I try to do this. I try to do my client consults with the confidentiality where you can
Yeah,
benefit
I
from should
understand.
litigation rise, but.
I understand. Do we need to suspend the rules to have that closed session?
I think it'd be suitable to have it for next meeting.
Okay.
I mean, if council wants to, that's up to you.
You mentioned the French drain. I'm imagining you would have to go the perimeter of the building with a French drain, would you not, Mr. Hall? So.
To get the water away from the building.
You wouldn't just stop at the center of this building and allow water. Then the French drain would not do what it's intended to do.
if we tried to contact the owner over there at all, to see if we can work together on these repairs instead of one solo,
I have not, but I can reach out.
that'd be great,
I think that
before
would
we do anything.
And the other owner's portion, does the public go to that side at all for any reason?
No.
Okay, all right.
There's no apartments anymore?
There are apartments. That's
Because
private
that's a
rentals.
completely private area.
Okay.
We have a motion on the table.
But, never mind. I was just gonna say, if we don't do anything, waiting on something to happen, then it's gonna fall down around us anyway. If that's what you're saying, wait till we find out if we're gonna have a town or not, or. Well, Is that regardless, what you're something saying? has to happen to the building. That's what I'm saying.
Before we, make major repairs, and they cost $50,000, $150,000, $200,000, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We have a motion. Is there any more discussion?
I made a motion to proceed with this. I second that. You're,
Yes.
oh, well, okay, I'll second it
Can
again.
we have a roll call vote,
That's a
please?
double second.
And this is to what?
This is to proceed with this
Vote.
paper right here.
Proceed with the vote.
Yeah, proceed with, yeah.
No,
On
it's
the
not on
motion.
the paper.
What?
It's not on the paper, it's on the vote for the paper.
We are voting on her motion to approve this.
Oh, okay. I don't check to that. So we're voting on the motion, not on voting on the motion.
No, there's been no substitute
No,
motion.
no
We're
substitute,
voting.
yes.
So we're
Okay,
just-
voting on the
just
motion,
voting.
okay.
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote?
Comborn,
No,
Hall,
I will have to say no.
Kennedy,
Yes,
Mullins,
yes.
Powers,
Why me?
Always you.
I'll take your, no.
I'm gonna say no at this point in time.
check with the other landowner and see what we work out.
Yes.
And the motion does not pass. We move on to the next item. Item number 8B, which is regarding to picking in the pound.
We got an email about the sound equipment being,
Picken, just asked that, as far as like adjusting volumes or as far as messing with the equipment, that town officials, i.e. council members, mayor, or, workers deal with the
well,
equipment.
I wanna say, if it's set up like it was tonight, there's no problem. It was on tonight, and it was set up, so I don't know who did it, but whoever did
That was me.
a good job.
Thank you.
So as long as it's set up, you know, just as a principle, I remember we used to have church, right when I grew up, at a daycare. And, you know, we would have to take out the daycare stuff Saturday night, put in the chairs, set up, and then take them out Sunday night, you know, Wednesday night, do the same thing. And so, any liability for any equipment, if there's a fear, it would need to be put up before the council meeting. But, you know, I mean, I don't see where there is any liability if it's set up like this. It should be fine. But we shouldn't be responsible as a town of Pound for making sure the equipment doesn't get hurt. Because that's just, if you don't want it hurt, just put it up.
They're allowing us to utilize the equipment.
And we're allowing them to utilize the room.
We are,
Yeah.
but so far they're not tearing the room up.
Right. And I'm saying if we have it set up like it is tonight, that's great.
The general public should not be coming into a meeting and saying, here, let me move your equipment for you. So I can agree with their stance on they don't want anybody moving the equipment.
Well, I mean, that's fine if you don't want just anybody who comes to a public meeting moving the equipment, then the equipment needs to be put up. But like I said, tonight, everything was set up, there'd be no reason for anybody to have to fool with it. And it was done well, so. But we're not responsible, if something happens to equipment, we're not responsible for the damages to that equipment. I mean, am I correct, Kevin?
I mean, it depends on if you are, kind of what's your degree of culpability, you know, if you've recklessly stacked this thing down on the ground, yeah. you're
Right, I mean, if
but
someone.
You bump into it accidentally, I don't know. It's
You know, Lyndon gets angry and pushes it over the edge, then there might be a difference. We'll do it. But yeah, as long as it's set up, I have no problem with, you know, letting people who are more adult, handle it. It's not a problem. As long as it's set up.
I would make the motion as a council that we say we will be the ones to move it, to avoid any liability in this situation.
I would make a substitute motion to say that, to make it specific, because if we just say we, then that the town manager will make sure that the equipment is properly set up to avoid any liability. Does that sound good?
No, we as in council employees of the town, not the outside general public. If you can amend your substitute in that manner, then yes,
Well, I think we ought to have one person who's the point person to make sure, because I mean, tonight it's set, who set it up tonight? Okay, so I mean, town manager or her appointee will set it up. That means nobody touches it, except for the town manager or her appointee.
I'm good with that.
But it will be set up. That's the key.
as long as they choose to leave it here.
Yeah, if they put it up, it's their equipment.
Question, do they leave it scattered about the auditorium?
They usually leave it right up here, in the front.
So it wasn't a big deal to move it?
It's usually set up, you know, for their guitars, and I just scoot around.
It wasn't, but Joe, anybody shouldn't be in here messing with it.
But see, if I tried to turn it on, you know, I'd just be pushing buttons and turning knobs. And so as a council member, I shouldn't be fooling with that.
Right,
Okay?
I agree.
But if the manager knows how to do it, or whoever she appoints, then that's fine. That's fine. As long as it gets done.
Do we have a second to the amended substitute motion?
What did it end up saying?
That the manager or the appointee will make sure that it is properly taken care of.
And
And
it's
no
town manager.
outside sources. And no outside
And
sources.
no outside sources.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Beat you to it.
As long as it gets done, and then we can ride the manager.
Second, now is there any more discussion? Do we have a roll call vote, please?
Hawthorne,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Motion passes. Now we move on to item number 9, Pocket Park and Slide update.
I think we did that in
What is the timeline now, do you perceive, for getting the slide permanently fixed?
I can't tell you that. That's relying on FEMA. FEMA approving the design. That was part of the discussion in DC.
So
Making
there's,
FEMA move.
so there's no end in sight?
We don't have a definitive date until FEMA comes through with the design.
So
We
maybe,
We have passed the technical, hang on, I can't give you the acronyms off the top of my head. We have passed the TSB, Technical Service Branch, and it is now in EHP review stage. Don't ask me what EHP is because they did not specify that.
so there's no, like, it'll probably be done by, so I know there's some talk of dedicating the park in the spring of 2026. Is that done?
It will take a very short time, once we get the okay from FEMA. Not even the money, it's a matter, this is a reimbursement too. And that's what I've been saying, that's why I don't have any problem with that money sitting in that bank account. Because we gotta pay it out and wait to be reimbursed.
So do you think in hindsight it was wise for us to take the building down?
Absolutely, the building had to come down before anything else could happen. Or fall down. Which it was pretty close to.
cheaper.
No, it wouldn't have.
Just take
We,
time.
we still had the asbestos that had to be dealt with. And it's not our money anyway. DEQ's funding that. So,
We're spending somebody else's money, that's the way I like it. Okay,
That's good.
that's an update, we got that update. Next, we move on to the noise ordinance, number 10.
Did we find out what the noise ordinance is in the compound?
We did locate the noise ordinance and show where it was adopted in '99, I believe it was. But it's not specific on a decibel or a level. It just says if it impedes the health or rest of, it's of the citizens. It's also not signed.
So, in other words, you would have no idea what in the world that means in terms of sound level.
Right, yeah,
Which is,
yeah.
that's the issue.
It,
that the
it
Supreme
says
Court
if
has
it
had.
impedes the wellness, well-being or rest of.
Cause like, I think the chief was saying last time, that's what they all used to like say, and then a bunch of cases came out, the Supreme Court said, nobody in the world knows what that means.
we
So,
found, we found in the minutes where it was approved, but there's no signed copy anywhere.
yeah, so, and I mean, you know, my position, based on my research and understanding of the recent case law coming out about noise ordinances, they get struck for vagueness, which is a constitutional thing. That's where basically if you don't have, from reading the ordinance, know what's prohibited and what's not prohibited, then you can't have that be a constitutional law. law. So I mean, if we have a noise ordinance, I think it needs to probably mirror other municipalities with a certain decibel level. And really, when it comes to enforcement, like the chief was saying about being kind of like decibel meters to really satisfy a violation of it. A lot of times though, obviously having the ordinance and having the police be able to come and say, hey, we've got this ordinance, turn it down or we'll prosecute you, that might help to abate issues. But
So in other words, we have an unenforceable ordinance.
yeah, more or less as it stands now, yeah. That might not even be executed or valid based on what you're saying.
It shows where they approved it, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
Don't have a
it's in the
signed copy.
minutes that they approved it.
Which regardless, even if it was executed, it wouldn't be something that could withstand scrutiny in court.
Okay. Go on to the next item, which is newly acquired building. Any discussion?
So we haven't sold it yet.
No, can't sell it till we've got the asbestos report.
Timeline,
We've gotta have the survey done
timeline, 2 months, 3 months.
before then, if we can get the surveyor in here.
Y'all have the survey lined up.
We do not yet. I know we haven't had a whole lot of luck getting a hold of,
I know, yeah, a lot of the surveyors around here getting on age and closer to retirement. We actually, a lot of times had to go through, whether we did Addison survey in the Tri-Cities. There's several other firms in the Tri-Cities that you have to probably pay a little extra for travel, but it's hard to get a hold of people around here.
Well-
Classic ones at least.
Roy.
But I understand Will Lester and Roy. Coles.
No, she's talking about Will's office.
Will's office, that's
Does
right.
he? Yeah.
I understand
Roy
there's
is
still,
retired.
oh, he has, okay. I know that one of them, sorry, but I understand, I think Will Lester's still
Yeah, I'll let it.
around and doing surveys.
Is he still licensed?
Still,
I'm sure he is.
There's a guy who did some survey around our property, Larry Owens, just wise. He has permission for surveying, so we'll write his name down, call him, get him a phone book.
We'll do it.
Next item is boundary adjustment. Item number 12. Any discussion?
So we can have the public hearing next month, is that what you're saying?
yeah, so if the council approves it, then all we'll need to do is put a, basically kind of like an ad in the paper like we usually do, but it'll need to be 2 consecutive weeks preceding the meeting. And the only concern with that I would have is that we will be adopting a specific agreement with a specific kind of plat map that if the county rejects, we'll have to go back and do it again. So we don't have a firm approval from the county, but I'm sure that those of you who've been working on it have at least an understanding that it's going to be approved in the current form.
That's my understanding.
Right. So I mean,
That's what they had before.
right.
It's not different.
So yeah, as long as they look at that, basically it's the map. that's
Have you
gonna
talked
be-
to Karen at all?
They were looking at it, last I've heard. I haven't heard back in terms of if it's going to be approved.
Okay.
But obviously, this is something where, we would be looking at, I guess, calendar-wise, we would need an ad up by the first, basically, so it could run that week preceding the meeting, well, the week preceding the meeting, the week after. So there would be some time there for us to maybe get some confirmation, but once that, I don't know, it's not that much to put an ad in the paper if you have to tax it. I just like to avoid it for fiscal reasons, obviously.
I'll make a motion, we advertise and have a public hearing on the boundary adjustment before the August meeting. And that clarification would be the rest of the high school property and the rest of the elementary school property. There's no individuals, just public property.
Second the motion.
We have a second. Is there any more discussion? Can we have a roll call vote of that, please?
Hawthorne,
Yes?
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
And just to verify before we move forward, I feel like I've asked this before, but I want to make double sure because there's requirements in the code for this. No property owner is going to be affected. No one is going to be paying
No
county
residential.
taxes.
There's no residential property that's affected. The the county owns the property that's affected, so no, there would be no taxes
So, right, there's not a,
at this point.
right, not a private person who's,
Correct.
you know, paying county taxes, no town now that will now be paying both, okay.
I'm paying both. The county would not approve anything like that from my discussions with them.
Okay.
They don't want
There's-
to do anything that affects residential property.
Yeah, and there's notice requirements, so it would be a bit of a nightmare if there was an effect.
Okay, we can move on to the next item, which is streetlights. Is there any discussion or a motion?
So I'm waiting to see if Mr. Hall has streetlight numbers for me.
Not had time, I'm telling you, I've been covered up, and when I get home, I'm pooped.
So somebody's doing without a streetlight.
Well, I'm gonna get them, I'm gonna try to write this down now, for sure.
I would move to table that to next month.
Yeah, please.
Your motion,
Yeah, you ain't got it next month, Gary. I may have to pull the table out for Monday.
Go ahead, run over me up there on the track. I don't care.
is there a second?
Do me a favor.
Any more discussion?
Who seconded? I'm sorry.
I did.
Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Hawthorne,
Yes?
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers,
Yes.
And if anyone has a street light out, let us know. We can get the number.
You know, I'll call.
You'll call.
Yeah, you don't even have to call. You just give me the number. We can report it online.
Okay.
Okay, we can move on to new business. The item number 14 is new equipment for high school / MOL, MOU, sorry. Is there any discussion?
So we're gonna need something that will mow, and Lyndon and I have kind of had a little bit of chat about the possibility of some sort of equipment that's a multi-use that we can mow and Lyndon, scoop? Mow and scoop.
You could get a small tractor that will mow, have a little backhoe bucket and attachment, have a little front loader bucket as an attachment, quick attach.
So would you be so kind to help us maybe get some pricing and figure out what we need?
I will, I've done a little bit already, not much in the way of pricing, just looking and trying to pick a brand. And I'll come up with something in the next month.
Okay. I would make a motion to table that.
We have a motion table, can we have a second?
Second.
Discussion? Without objection, motion passes. Item number 15 is tax status change for properties. We have discussion or a motion?
I guess, Mr. Whitaker here came to me and said that he was approached with the idea that he needed to start paying taxes. And so I guess I was wondering if that was true, or if that was just a misunderstanding on his part. In the past, he's been told he was not part of the town, now they're saying he is. Is there any, I guess our manager would need to comment on this.
We did look at maps and talk with Stephanie Mullins, and by the maps that we had and by GIS, it does show that the property is in town.
I can tell you about those maps.
And he also voted in this last election.
I did not vote. When I was over there, they told me, I told them, I said, this is wrong, I am not in the town of Pound. They said, well, that's the ballot you have. But I didn't vote for the town of Pound because I told them I couldn't. So I did not vote in the last one, so I don't know how you could say that.
Well, when you and I initially talked, Mr. Whitaker, you told me that you voted.
No,
in the
I
last
said I
election.
voted over in Wise, but I didn't vote for the town of Pound things.
I think part of the
But
problem.
they gave me that ballot, and they said it's the only ballot you have. I was forced to take that ballot.
Well,
Which, you know, then, because I voted, but then the map you're using is a map that is completely bogus.
That's something you are gonna have to resolve between Lenawisco and the registrar's office.
Well, the map you've got is great, because it's gonna add about 60 or 70 more families, because that map goes way beyond the scope of the town of Pound. And I can show it to you.
It
and I
doesn't
can
add
prove it.
anything. The only thing that was there, and it was something that I had discussed with Dougie previously, was the fact that your property was showing as in town, but you weren't being billed for taxes. And what he told me was, you can bill the current year, and I think, what was it, Brittany, 3 years prior?
I believe it was 3.
But the thing is, you're using a map that is illegal, because the man that did those maps he was set out to make the town, try to find people that were in the town, they're not being taxed. The thing is, all he did was he made the town of Pound bigger. And I can show you on your map exactly where all of the reference points are. So I'm being charged. Why aren't these other 60 people being charged?
Can we see the map? I'm gonna go to the restroom. Can you stand at ease for?
Yeah.
And I know, I talked to the fellow that did that map, and the registered.
We're gonna take a 5-minute recess.
I'm going to house. I've seen that. You got to think outside the box.
Hey Greg, they're getting ready to discuss it as soon as she gets the map. She's gonna show us the map.
Well, I can show you exactly where the map is in error.
Well, she's gonna bring it to us. She's gonna bring it.
She's gonna bring it, and you can,
We're gonna take a restroom break and then we're gonna get right back.
I like to think, I didn't eat. I'm afraid my stomach's going to get so loud that you won't be able to feel anything.
She's gonna bring the map and we're gonna look at it.
Okay, yeah, she brought
You
me
can
that
explain
200.
what it's for.
I know exactly what that map says because I helped the guy do it.
so, I've been lifting books.
It's a mess.
It's,
It's a mess.
just fun throwing books back and forth.
You know, let put some, I always thought, we got, look what St. Paul is a hole in the wall. You look what they've done by getting all, just like Linda's little thing there, that trail. See, that's what they started with, the little trail, and they got bigger and bigger and bigger and whatever. Why don't we try to have some? We could give it somebody else. Kayak racing. One end of the other. I mean, you start with
Debbie was working on all this.
the thing is, think outside the box. And about 15 or 16 years ago, Missouri was the last. It was the worst. It was 50 in businesses in the state. So what they did, they said the first year, no tax. The second year, 50% tax. The third year, you start paying 100% tax because the first 2 years, that makes or breaks the business. And, give them any you can. If you get the county that go off this, and all this property, these buildings, don't pay for getting fixed. Tell somebody to come in here, okay, this is, you have this part of the county that you can have. You build it back the way you want it. Build office buildings, whatever you want to put. If you want to put apartments in, let them build it back. Don't take the people of town making them build it and pay for it being torn down and everything. I mean, think outside the box.
You need this seat right here.
Well,
Just come right over here. Get you in. Yeah.
Because
We'll change that.
the thing is,
We'll change that plaque right now.
well,
Debbie had a lot of those ideas.
well, there you go. But you've got to push it. Clintwood, Pound was big, Clintwood was nothing. Now look at Clintwood, they got like 7 banks. And see, I worked for people in 10 years. And I looked at the report on downtown. 2.4 out of 10. That's why they do. I said, there's nothing, and according to their report, under the present administration, Williams and Ryan, they said that this town will never make it. And that's what their report was, and they put a lot of money in it. And they moved the bank out. And I worked with them until they changed over to Truist, and I said, hey, you can have it back. I had the states of Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. I had, I had 1,216 banks that I had to keep control. And those things, when they went to change it over to Truist, it's going to add another 500 to me. I said, forget it, that's it, I'm out. So I don't want to do it anymore. But the thing is, every time I come down here, it depresses me. Money here, money there. I mean, all the people that live in this town, they can't keep, And it doesn't matter to me, really. I mean, it's only $3,000 extra a year for me. I mean, you know, it's not fun. But the thing is, I have been, basically, this town has, you know, they pretty messy and bad and everything. And my mother, she left. Well, we're leaving too. So, I mean, I would just pay taxes. It's only $3,000 a year extra. So it's no big deal. We're thinking about moving into the Bristol, you know, kind of the Bristol Kingsport area. Because all of our people are in Knoxville, in the Knoxville area, and then both of my sons are in Bristol. Yeah. And, you know, I've got, you know, all my property, I've got 4 acres that I try to mow and weed eat and everything. I'm 77 years old, and I still do it. I did it today, so it started raining. You know, it rained in my house. It rained in my house. Well, the thing is, that's just it. I keep trying to find, it said it was not going to rain at all today. And I got right in the middle of it, and I've got a grass catcher, and that grass got wet, and you know, the grass catcher would, and I was sitting there trying to clean it out and getting drenched. Oh, God. It's a mess. Yeah, people, when they come to my house, they say, this is not a house, this is a resort. Because we keep it. I mean, it's really, really nice.
Never been up there.
Are you Greg?
I live on Curtis Hill Road. See, none of Curtis, see, Guy Mullins had that property. The only one on the list. The only house on the list that somebody said, well, you live there in Memphis, is that in Taylor?
Okay, I know which one.
Is that no, I own that house too. Penny was right across from it. I sold it we're still slowly getting rid of it. And I gave my son 4 acres on the other side, on the right hand side. And he's when we leave, he's gonna sell that to somebody. We're just gonna get rid of town completely. But we've had some, and the way the town found, of course the thing is, the liquor store is politics. So I was going up. Everything was politics.
This ain't the kids growing up there, it's a different mentality. See,
So the maps look like this.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said,
just like you said,
I'm
I'm not doing it.
I'm trying for people,
And it went like that.
not me, because
That's
I'm
the
leaving.
match that's been here the whole
No,
time.
basically,
I'm gonna be
Gene's
gone.
had a map, and it
the
was,
people of the town,
I mean, I'm not
I don't
saying
think it's fair.
his place wasn't in
They
it,
should be
but it was more
continued
of an
to
angle from here to
give
to a straight line.
Well, they
Like that.
Seven or eight people can collect.
Get rid of the 2 of us.
There not be a future volunteer.
I'm willing to take $500.
You know, I just saw things in that car that was running.
You don't wanna be carried away.
He said, oh, they did that right place.
That's what he argues, is it starts at Linda Hubbard.
That's if they got 20 or 30 cars and they have in-house mechanics and mechanics. I mean, these guys cars today, and the ones that scrap,
We are brought back to order. We have this map, don't forget, we want to continue.
Yeah, I mean, this particular map would show that, is this the map you were looking at before?
It said 2003 on it. Yeah, but it's the big one right here.
This one's 2002.
It's not exactly the map I remember hanging in,
Okay.
George Dean's
So
office.
you see here, let me find everything here. We got, right, okay, that's the property, okay. This came down here and you've got a sign right here that says town limits. Well, see, now he's taken this, all this extra, and if you look at this over here, this is not the one I saw, because you had all of Bo Camp in it too.
Bo Camp's in there.
I mean, it was up in there, you had all.
This is Bo Camp.
Right, but the thing is, see the sign,
That's the exact one you looked at. I
okay,
have
the
it right back
sign
on the
is
wall.
over here, it was supposed to go from right, let me find this thing again, to, I need it flat.
There's the airport.
But anyway, the sign is right, there's not a road in there. It's right here. It was supposed to go from here all the way over to the Low Camp Road, which is the old Cowan Mall property here, straight line. Okay, now then this guy, when he showed me this, he added all this extra down here, and he added all this over here, because the sign is here. It's way up in here. That's where the sign that says that if you go up
You're at IGA.
Okay, well, the thing is,
Not even, no, this is actually in the middle of town.
right. So the Bow Camp Road is right here. They went from here, right straight across here, they added all that in there, because these people right here. No. The one you showed me came all the way around this way.
No, that's the exact one we had up on the wall. I just went in there and took it down.
It said on it, pound, 2002, 2003. It was over here in the corner. Over here in the corner.
That's the exact map we looked at
Okay,
today.
well,
So where do
anyway,
you say the line should be?
it should be from here going to Bow Camp, the
So
common knoll.
this is business 23,
Right.
and so over here would be,
No, it's not, it's over here on this
it's
side.
business 23.
Right.
It's
Okay,
right
let me
here.
have a pencil, I can show you.
That's the
You
old
come-
road.
You come
It's
around,
business
this
23.
is Indian Creek Road
Yeah.
right here. Okay, the sign is it's right here, and it went this way, up here to Conley Mullins', and then from there, it goes across in a straight line, across here, and all of these things right here, yeah, the one you showed me, I talked to two or three people, I went up there and said, are you in the corporate limits? And they said, no, we're not, but your map showed that they were. But they're not being charged the taxes. Okay.
Okay, and who would that be?
I'm not gonna get into that, because you're gonna be charging, you charged me $3,000. So I don't want them to have to pay, extra, I can
Well,
afford
you're
it.
saying that they're on the map. If they're on the map,
They're on this, you've got them on the map, because the map was made by a guy, Velvet Bowling had this guy go out and make a new map, so to speak, and he filed it. And that map came around, and it put me in there, plus everybody that was on that road. Because Guy Mullins told me, when they told me I wasn't in the corporate limits, I said, well, yeah, I am. I said, the sign's right down here. And then Guy Mullins, I asked Guy Mullins, the guy that owned the property, he said, no. He said, the only thing that's in the corporate limits is my house, my old house seat. And that's where Linda Hubbard lives. That house that he said, the other 17 acres, he said, it goes right straight across the Conley Mullins', and he said, it's out. So this guy came in to help them find new things, and he made that little map, and he filed it. Okay, that's pound. Okay, then they made a bigger map, that's pound. All you gotta do is keep making the map bigger, and you get all kinds of money.
well, we didn't do anything.
But the thing is, for 51 years I was out, and the only thing that changed is the map.
And when did that change?
I don't know, because for 51 years, I was outside the corporate limits. And then and you say I voted, I was told to vote, you don't vote at the Adams Elementary anymore, you go to Wise to vote.
You voted Adams.
No, you still voted Adams.
Well, I guess I voted early or something,
Uh-huh.
because I went over there and they said, you are in the town of Fountain. I did not, I said, no, I'm not. I said, they said, well, you gotta use that ballot. And so I used that ballot, but I didn't vote, because I knew it wasn't supposed to. I was in the Army for 26 years. All I know to do is say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. The thing is, I don't really care. I'm trying to help these other people here that's being robbed. I think they're being robbed.
Well, Linda, what do you think when you hear the border of the town of Pound? Where do you think it began? Where do you think it went across?
On Indian Creek, right now, the town limits, is at the mouth of the road, that goes up to Robert Mullins' house. And, just a few feet beyond it is the killing mama.
Yeah.
So it's all the way
Well, it's not Lloyd's Curve there, we call it Lloyd's Curve.
Killing Holler is not in.
Beyond where I live.
Killen Holler is not in. The house, the brick house there, where the corporate limit sign is in town. That's where it starts.
But
What were you gonna say,
I'm
Linda?
helping the people because I'm leaving. Yeah, I'm leaving. I mean, it's better than me. I mean, well, I guess maybe I'll just give my house to the town. Maybe they can sell it and let it run down like everything else is. Before I came here, I went to the
I just am.
town. It's junkyard. And it's not getting any better. All we're doing is, the people of town, of the pound of town, are paying taxes so you can have a job. I mean, I don't want
I don't
to.
work here. I
Well,
don't work here.
Well, thing
I
is,
volunteer my time.
okay, well, anyway, where's all the money going then?
Well, we do have a police department. It pays for street lights. It
Okay,
does pay for the town hall. It pays for, our street worker that cleans the streets.
but there's things here that's been here for months, that's not been looked at. Over at the post office, that earth slump that's been there in the sidewalk, I worked for 5 months now. I mean, surely you could get somebody to do that for like
Thank you.
$200.
Thank you for coming out, and we'll look at it, we'll see what we can figure out about it.
Okay, well, you can't figure anything with that. If you're using a bogus map, you're gonna get bogus, you know. But like I said, I don't really care. It costs me $3,000 a year, big deal. I'm leaving.
Okay, thank you for coming out.
So how do we verify? Because, you know, GIS maps, you know, are notoriously off. I don't know if that's a GIS map or
No,
what it is.
that
That's
is
Lena
prepared
Wisco.
by Lena Wisco pursuant to an ordinance, which I'm not familiar with that ordinance that was passed in 1997. I don't know if that was just zoning your business district, and that's what the purpose of this map was for. Based on the fact that it says zoning map, that's what I would think that it's for, is to show a business district, which would be excluding residential. But as far as where this boundary was established originally,
It lays out all of the.
that's something where you probably want a title search and a survey to fully establish. But Lena Wisco prepared it. You know, that's something where you would have to think that they relied upon good information to do it.
There's a
But-
boundary map.
I mean, if there's a challenge to be made on that.
Yes.
Goes back to the 90s. I have a copy of it.
There
I
you
would
go.
love to see that, Linda.
You calling?
The old-
Is he still here? Is he still here?
He left.
Yeah, he's-
Okay. That'd be good to look at, though. But I would make a motion that there be a process whenever people's property is brought into the taxes. And that this process, because I don't think, for lack of a better word, bureaucrats at town hall ought to be making decisions on who is added to the tax load or added to the tax rolls, rather than the council. This is kind of an important thing in a small town. And so this would be my suggestion, that if we want to add someone to the tax rolls, we would, first of all, number one, send a letter of notification that the property will be brought up at the council meeting after next. So let's say you wanted to add someone to the tax rolls, it was May the 1st, then at the July meeting, it would be brought up. Number two, council will approve the inclusion of the property on the tax rolls. And so that would be part number two, would be the council would have to approve adding someone's property to the tax rolls. And number three, taxes would begin the next year for that particular property owner. And so that would be the three steps. Number one, a letter of notification from town hall that the property will be brought up at the council meeting after next. Number two, council will approve or disapprove the inclusion of the property on the tax rolls. And number three, the taxes will begin, if approved, the next year. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I second.
We have a second. Is there any more discussion?
Oh, yeah, there's lots of discussion. Yeah, So- I mean, please let me go first, please.
And this would be retroactive to
No,
the first of the year.
No, it's my turn.
I know, I was
This
just clarifying the motion.
bureaucrat at town hall did not decide anything. So I will tell you first and foremost, I take great offense to that. We didn't add anything. The county added that due to the discussion that one, Mr. Whitaker did advise, and you can ask our town manager because she was here at the time, that he voted in the election. Not that he got a ballot and didn't vote it, that he voted. So if he wants to come back in here, I will gladly tell him. He's telling a big old fib, because what he told me was he voted. I called Dougie and had a discussion with him, and I told him, based on the map that Lenny Wisco provided, it shows his property in town limits. But he was fussing that he got a ballot, He never said he. and he wasn't in town limits. And that he had tried to get water, and he wasn't in town limits. You know, I can't speak to what you all did before I got here, and unfortunately, I'm missing that piece. This map is what Lynn Wisco provided. So when Dougie called me back, he said, absolutely, according to Lynn Wisco's map, he is in town limits. He will be included in the list of properties for the town. So that wasn't anything that was decided here. The county provides us the information. We build the tax tickets off of that. And we sit So, here thank you very much. late, very late at night, going through every one of them that we have questions about. Volunteer work, I don't get paid for anything. She doesn't get paid for anything. But we sit here and go through each person's name that we get and try to verify their address and who they're at and everything. It's not just a, here we go, we're sending them out. That doesn't work.
Who is we?
Liebern and I and whoever, Brittany's went through them, we get the taxes from the county. Then it's going through and going through and I going think through. she's talking about the personal property because they Oh, don't, yeah, that's we don't right. know who's in town limits and who's not from that Right. list. And we don't have a water system at this point, not due to our fault, to fall back on to determine who's in town and who's not.
So I
So
think,
that list has to be gone through multiple times to determine who's in and who's out.
I think the we ought to be Councilmember Cawthorn, Councilmember Hall, Councilmember Kennedy, Councilmember Mullins, and Councilmember Powers. And that way, when these people are taxed, they'll know who to blame for receiving a tax ticket and who they can thank for not sending them a tax ticket. I think the buck ought to stop with the council and not with the officials at town hall.
We have a We boundary were on council. that determines who is in town limits and who is not. That's what determines who gets taxed and who doesn't. Mr. Whitaker is clearly within the boundaries on this map.
I can
If
look at
he
the map.
wants to dispute that, then he needs to talk to Lynn Wisco, the county commissioner of revenue, and the registrar's office. We didn't do that.
But, you know, who should be the one that determines who's on the map and who's not?
We shouldn't arbitrarily just say, you don't have to pay taxes. We see you here, but you don't have to pay taxes.
So you're saying that the unelected officials at town hall ought to determine who gets added, what properties get added to the tax rolls,
No, I'm
but
saying
haven't
the
been on the tax
boundary
rolls for 30,
determines.
40, 50 years, rather than town council who's elected by the people.
It's not my fault that the people before us didn't do their due diligence and look at that tax map. So the boundary is what decides, nobody
Sounds
here.
like you ought to be thankful for not paying taxes all those years.
Absolutely, and that was discussed, you know, how far back do we have the ability to tax him? And do we go back? And we, you know, Brittany and I sat here and talked about it, and I said, you know, I don't think it's right if they were telling him he's not in town limits to tax him back to 3 years. I think this is new, we start here and we move forward.
Ms. Hubbard, yes, go
Can I
ahead.
say something?
Go ahead.
That cuts both ways. For my entire life, we have, ever since this town's been chartered, we've been paying for about 30 acres across that 4-lane to the town, which is way outside the limits. But it was because that's where the county had picked us up. And the town was filing for taxes to be
Depends on where it's at. Where's
Zone
it at?
It's across from the school.
Yeah, we don't tax that.
Okay. Oh, yes, you do. I mean, it's been picked up as acreage and field, and we've been paying it for years and years, but I considered it a gift to town.
I'm not aware of that, Linda, so that's something you'll need to show me.
Well, I've come to the town and told the girls a couple of times, but I also said, don't worry about it. It's
Which
just-
girls?
Huh?
Which girls?
It was in before time.
Before time.
Yeah, you know, we have found a lot of things wrong. You know, there's taxes that we've had to abate because they didn't, it was tax sale, and we're not talking about a little bit of money.
Yeah.
So we've fixed a whole lot, but yeah, if you'll show me what we're talking about.
Well, the way it should work, it seems to me, is you all have good sense to see a map and see who's in the limits and who's not. We have a receiving officer at that window right there. And when someone comes to pay their taxes, receive your taxes. I mean, it's as clear as that. And if there's a problem, you do need to start at the county.
If somebody doesn't come in and say, I have a problem, then I don't know what you may have told those who came before Linda. So I can't go back and look at what I don't know what I don't know.
Well, see, the county just told you guys that we had, I don't know, at one time, 80-some acres in a house and or two. And so, because most of it's in the corporate limits, you all just billed me for what the county said, and that was fine.
We went over the,
Call me tomorrow.
we went.
We'll get Abby to look it up, pull it up and look at
I guess my whole point in even bringing this up is just to let you all know that there are errors, and we just work them out.
it. We know there are errors because we found a whole lot of them and have worked to fix them. This is not our error.
And there are errors with the voter list. I mean, I've worked the voter list. There's about 10%, 1 in 10 people on that list do not live in the town. They're either dead, they moved, or they're wrongly put as being in the town. And so I'm thankful for the president, I'm thankful for the governor who's trying to clean up these, voter rolls that are all over the place. But 10% of the people who are on the voter list for the town of Town are not eligible to vote. And if they go to Wise to vote early because they live in Tennessee, they're gonna get a ballot that has our names on it, and they're just gonna vote. Oh, I recognize that person, and vote.
If they live in Tennessee, they shouldn't be voting here anyway.
Well, check the rolls. I mean, what I'm saying is that it's not outlandish for him to say he's on the voter roll, but not really a citizen of the town.
But the map says he is.
Well, that map says he is.
This is the only map we've had since I've been here.
Done in 97 and,
It was from a 1997 zoning ordinance, but it says the map was prepared in 2002. And I have reached out to Linnowisco to ask about the validity of the information.
so is that the most current? Did they say that's the most current one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Some would say the one we ought to go by is the most ancient, because that'd be the original plot map of the town of Fountain. So I think the council, instead of the folks at town hall, ought to be making the decision whenever we add a property to be taxed by the town.
But the folks at town hall are not making that decision.
They are.
No, we're not.
You're looking at that map, you're making a decision, and you're telling them what to do.
No, the county sends the list for the real
And
estate.
he's never been on the list before.
I'm sorry, he was on the list because of the discussion with Dougie and the fact that he voted and he shows on the map.
The fact that he received a ballot with the town of Pound.
So he says, but he also told me that he voted.
I remember one time, the problem is we don't have May elections anymore. So I remember him one time coming up at the May election saying, I hope you guys well, I can't vote, I don't live in the town, bye, I don't want to tax me. And he drove off. And so when we have this November election, which the Democrats in Richmond did to us, instead of a May election, we can't properly identify who really lives in the town and who doesn't. And when they combine the two, yes, he got a ballot, and it probably had the people in this town on it, but he could do nothing about it at that point.
In the same exact conversation, he said, I always tried to get in the town. I've asked multiple times to be in the town.
And
I would have run for council.
And George Dean told him, because you're not in the town, we can't help you with your water problem. But that was
I'm
before
not
you.
George Dean, and that was
That's right.
before me.
George was
I
before you.
can't help what was done to him before. All I can do is take the information I have now and move forward.
But you
That's
can
what-
understand how you feel like, okay, I had to pay for a water line here, because I wasn't in the town. And then over here, I have to pay the taxes because I am in the town.
You had other people that were told they weren't in town, but they clearly found that they were when they went back and looked at it, that didn't get to vote.
Hey, they're getting ready to run water lines up to where Greg lives. And that sewer business, I mean, that, I've seen it. So somebody
We should get it by proxy, huh?
already said that you folks on that deal. Have you talked to Mr. Scott?
I do not want sewer. I love my septic tank.
Okay.
I want a bumper sticker. I love my septic tank. That thing saves me probably $150
That
a month.
sounds really cool.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, my point
Not to
is
digress.
that the county is getting ready to provide services.
I hope not. I hope they don't provide sewer.
I'd call for the question.
Okay, is there a motion? Oh, yes, there's a motion on the table, and it has been seconded. Did somebody second it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hall did.
Refresh my memory what the motion
Can
was.
you
Now
please,
we're calling for.
Will you please read the
Stop
motion?
the-
Oh, we're
We gotta
waiting
stop
on the call
discussion.
question.
okay, we're voting on whether to vote on the motion. Okay, the question has been called. Can we have a roll call vote?
Hawthorne,
I have nothing else to say, so yes.
Oh.
Hall,
It's just vote on it.
Hall, I'm sorry. Did you say
Yes.
either way? Okay. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
So
Now-
please read the motion and we'll be voting on it.
This is hilarious.
Okay, the motion was, you made it, was, if we wanted to add someone to the tax, we had to send out a letter.
Not someone, but some property. And that
Okay.
is a distinction there. There's a distinction.
And some, okay. Send out a letter, to the council has to approve the property to tax rolls or disapprove, approve or disapprove it. Number 3, tax will begin the next year if approved.
And that's send a letter of notification that the property will be brought up at the council meeting after next. At the council meeting after next. That way they can be here to either dispute or to agree with the finding of people at town hall.
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote of that motion, please?
Cawthorn,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Kennedy,
No.
Mullins,
No.
Powers.
I'm a no.
And the motion is not passed. Is there any more discussion on that item? If there is no more discussion, we move to item number 16, which is SMR. Any discussion?
Just to make everybody aware that the small modular reactors is back on the list to be in this area. I'm not so sure we don't need to do a resolution that we don't want it in this area. It would be different, I think, if they were, looking at something that was tried, true and tested, but they're talking about nuclear reactors that do not exist anywhere in the world, that have not been tested, and I personally don't want to be their guinea pig, and I don't think the other people do either.
Would our our supervisor come up and share with us the latest on that? It seems like it happened pretty quickly. They told us to forget about it, it was all passed. And then all of a sudden, they seem to be brought it up again.
And we kind of just, I don't think that much is gonna happen with that, really.
Really?
Because the data centers are coming, we don't know when. Hopefully this year,
So, kind of enlighten people, or do you know, Randy? What
Can you
kind
come
of-
up here?
What kind of power are we looking at to?
Well, I have some papers on that, but I didn't bring them. Ms. Fisher attended our last meeting. Y'all familiar with her? Okay, she gave us but we're really not, really,
Our grid is not equipped for that.
no, I don't think we have to worry about that part now. We're supporting data centers, of course, that are gonna be coming, we think, and hopefully will come before Youngkin is off. That's our hopes.
How many jobs does a data center?
It could be
Not much.
not a lot, but it will generate revenue for this county.
How much of that revenue is coming back to the town?
I don't know.
Well, the town, none.
But the county, so we're hoping that it happens, and there's a problem, and it probably would have been, and I don't know if I'm supposed to tell everything I know, but it probably would have already happened if, the tariffs have got it held up right now.
Do you personally feel comfortable with
The data centers, yes.
the modular reactors that have
No.
not been tested?
No.
So
No.
if they bring the data centers, our power grid is gonna have to be able to handle that. How is it gonna handle that without the nuclear power?
I can't discuss it much. Because we have to wait and see. But I know what you're saying, but I don't think, as far as the harm or what everybody's fearing and all those kinds of things, I don't think we have to get excited about that right now.
Is there a proposed site for a modular reactor?
There has been.
Beside the ball fields and the airport and Wysco Christian School, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
That big road, they said, oh, don't worry about nuclear reactors. And they built that big road for $1.8 million. And we're like, wait, why are they building this big road? Yeah,
So
so they're
they're-
not gonna do anything. But
So somewhat what you're saying is, without coming right out and saying that, is possibility of those reactors is at the airport area, not here
Yeah.
locally.
Well,
That's a good possibility.
it is.
Okay.
Some of that stuff I'm supposed to wait. I better not say a lot.
Well, see, the fear, and this is one thing, my wife, would make sure that I took the right position on this. I would agree with Lieber. And that is, what they do is they have this big, don't nuke Southwest Virginia.
Yeah.
And then they tell everybody, oh, y'all missed out on a great opportunity. It's never going to happen there anyway. Then all of a sudden, they just pop up. And at that point, we can't do anything about it. And they just pop up. And that's what I'm hearing is the Board of Supervisors is holding their cards pretty tight, perhaps waiting for the dedication of the modular nuclear site. And at that point, it's like, well, we can't do anything about it. How would you defend the Board of Supervisors or say, you disagree with that, or? Does that sound
Plead the fifth.
somewhat accurate?
Yeah.
The fifth
I better
round.
plead the fifth tonight.
Yeah.
That's official. Yeah, I better plead the fifth before the chairman kills me.
Okay. I would support, on behalf of my wife especially, this is one place where I'll let her tell me how to vote, but a resolution opposing those. I don't know if we could draft one tonight, because by next month's meeting, then we already have the foundation. Sounds like they're moving pretty fast. But you can't have data centers without a modular nuclear reactor, right? I mean, how are you gonna power the data center without a so it seems to me impractical to say I'm for data centers if we're not for nuclear modular reactors. See what?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
I'm not against nuclear. I am against something that has not been tried and tested, and the proposal for these reactors is something that does not exist
Right.
anywhere in the world, not just within the United States. I don't want to be their guinea pig. You have to consider that the
waste from these reactors will remain on site forever and ever and ever. And what's gonna come into our water systems?
But you got that big lake up there where they get their water right from Wise. So it wouldn't be our water system, but it would be the Wise water system.
Screw them
We're central.
other than us.
Or Central gets their water, right? Central gets their water from that big lake. So it would be Central that would be affected, that's our kids.
Yeah, yeah,
So, write it up.
I think it's scary. I think you want it tonight?
Yeah.
Can we take a 5-minute recess?
All right, just don't put anything partisan. Just stick with the nuclear reactors. I'll support it.
Okay, 5-minute recess.
Okay.
Hey, Randy, can we? Randy pleads the fifth.
Vice Chairman.
What do you think about You don't need to remember what's on my Facebook account for 200 years? Your grandma did fine with that one, right?
I think we've been a whole lot over that. What's wrong with the old phones that we used to use? Tracking us everywhere we go with this.
My wife will be glad.
Well, yeah, that's, I saw the thing on that, there's a person there monitoring that now.
Yeah,
We've seen that truck.
Keith Hansen owned it. He owns it,
Oh,
and
okay.
he found it. And told them they had to clean it up.
Where they've got barriers up there now, and that truck was there when they came down, I didn't see it. He's monitoring it, I don't know how long he's there.
He's supposed to
That
be
was a mess.
24 still.
Okay, that was a mess. But I mean, I just want to mention that, you know, I mean, it's, like I said, it doesn't smell like garbage, it smells like that.
Picked up on side road somewhere.
And that mess, I mean, you like that.
Right.
And I just wanted to mention.
But you're invited.
I know, Usually just
4.5 years.
I think we're one of them.
The electricity.
Because there's two ones around here. But I think probably, I think it's
Anyway, the west.
the other kid, that's the one who learned a little bit. I don't know the difference. I assume it's just a small.
I'm at 79 miles.
Seems like hey, Linda, that seems like our theme tonight.
Must have a template.
They're good.
Yeah.
I'd say they have 3-4, but that's good.
Look, I have to check it for partisanship here.
That's right, don't worry, sure. Is anybody else? Anybody else want a copy? Anybody?
He's put them out there. Did you approve?
I'll explain that later.
Do we want to read it off? Okay, we are back in order. We have a motion.
I would make the motion to approve the resolution in opposition of the small modular reactors. And I would say we'll put all the bells, buttons, bows, and whistles on it afterwards, since this was an on-the-fly thing.
I would second that with, I'm trying to read it real fast. With removing under now therefore be it resolved, number 2, because that could be conceived as not supporting coal or natural gas. So, so I would 1, 3, and 4 would be 1, 2, and 3. And that's to pass it tonight and get it going.
I don't think
So you're saying
we're
removing
moving
number
anything.
2?
We're just saying, well, yeah, we're
Yeah.
just not to discussion that, yeah.
So 1, 3, and 4 would become 1, 2, and 3, and then 2 would be
Gone,
Struck.
as you say.
Is that okay?
Oh, but you're seconding the motion, right?
Yeah, but I'm making a friendly amendment, which would be,
I don't think we're eliminating anything there as far as that goes, just making those options a priority.
yeah, what I'm saying is 1, 3, and 4 keep. But number 2, where it talks about prioritize clean, renewable, and community-owned energy solutions over nuclear power, I think it would broaden the appeal of this unless you wanted to add coal and gas into that list. It's just not take a position on.
I can add coal and gas, I can be about that.
Okay, so Town of Pound urges local, state, and federal agencies to prioritize clean, renewable, coal,
And clean,
Gas.
renewable and community-owned energy solutions over nuclear,
Yeah.
as well as gas and coal over nuclear power.
Well, how it would read is the Town of Pound urges local, state, and federal agencies to prioritize clean, renewable, coal, gas, and community-owned energy solutions over nuclear power.
That's fine, same
Okay,
difference.
just add those 2 words.
Okay. We have a second, any discussion?
I'd like you to read it so that people can read this, know what we're passing.
Okay, here's a resolution opposing the installation of small modular reactors, known as SMRs. Whereas the health, safety, and well-being of our community are of utmost importance, and whereas small modular reactors, SMRs, are a new and largely unproven nuclear technology that still presents significant safety, environmental, and economic concerns. And whereas nuclear power, regardless of reactor size, produces long-lived radioactive waste for which there is currently no permanent disposal solution. And whereas SMRs pose many of the same risks as traditional nuclear reactors, including the potential for accidents, radiation leaks, and vulnerability to natural disasters and human error. And whereas SMRs may create new security risks, including the potential for proliferation of nuclear materials and increased exposure to tourism or sabotage.
Terrorism.
Sorry. Terrorism
That
And-
could be seen.
terrorism, or sabotage. And whereas claims that SMRs will be significantly cheaper or quicker to deploy than traditional nuclear reactors remains speculative and unproven at scale. And whereas public funds and policy should be directed toward truly renewable, safe, and sustainable energy solutions such as wind, solar, energy storage, and energy efficiency, rather than subsidizing a nuclear industry with a troubled track record and uncertain future. And whereas low-income neighborhoods have historically borne a disproportionate burden of nuclear energy and waste-related harms, raising environmental justice concerns around new SMR proposals. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Pound formally opposes the siting, permitting, construction, and operation of small modular reactors within our jurisdiction and region. Number 2, the Town of Pound urges local, state, and federal agencies to prioritize clean, renewable, coal, gas, and community-owned energy solutions over nuclear power. Number 3, the Town of Pound supports investments in energy efficiency, distributed renewable energy, and resilient energy infrastructure that benefits all communities equitably. Number 4, copies of this resolution shall be transmitted to relevant public officials, regulatory agencies, and energy authorities to convey our strong opposition to small modular reactor projects.
Amen.
Boy, that's good. You did.
Being that quick, that was good.
Templates are nice. That is good. That's good.
No template.
No template?
You drew.
She's good at typing, too.
Okay.
Fast.
Okay.
It's good. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any more discussion? If there's no more discussion, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Hawthorne,
This is for my wife, yes.
Hall,
This is for my wife, yes.
Kennedy,
It's for everybody, yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
And the motion is passed. There is no more, any more discussion on SMR item? We will move to other business. Number 17, is there any other business that has not been covered? There is none. We will move to item number 18, which is public comment. Anyone from the public would like to get up and give a comment? They can do it now.
I just wanted to make an inquiry.
Okay.
If the town knew what the use of the old Dollar General store, what that was going to be. It's a large space there beside our gym. If we had any clue what kind of business or whatever was going to go in there, the availability of that space to others, like to the town of Pound. It's a large space. It's big for skating.
It's matters.
Yeah.
But do we have any information about it, or has the planning commission?
We don't have information about it at this time, so my understanding of what was occurring there is Skip would not allow them out of their lease unless they paid it off. And I think the lease is getting ready to expire. And a lot of times what they'll do is they will pay their rent on the location to prevent anything else from coming in. I have not had a chance to go down and talk to Skip about it just yet, but it's on my list.
Well, it's one of the most valuable spaces for a variety of reasons in the town, and I was just wondering if anybody investigated. Planning commission could probably look at that too.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else want to give a comment?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Juanita said there's something dead out there in that town truck.
We know, we're aware.
Okay.
It'll be taken care of tomorrow.
Okay, because she looked out, died when she got out. And we don't want that to happen.
We won't discuss on the record what occurred.
Okay. There's no more public comment. We'll move on to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Who
We
made
have a
the
second.
motion? I'm sorry.
Bedtime.
Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Hawthorne,
Yes.
Hall,
Yeah.
Kennedy,
Yes.
Mullins,
Yes.
Powers.
Yes.
Motion passes. You're out of here.
We're out
All right.
30, I'm gonna-
Big improvement.
Yep,
Take care.
thank you.
You'll be in the building tomorrow, all that traffic.